Okay, I'm back again. This will be a short video on the front speaker installation of a Saturn two-door coupe. It is similar on the four-door models, as the front speakers are mounted in the front doors in the lower front section of the door, close to where your feet are normally at. Alright, now I'm only going to show the video on one door because each door is similar in design, and what you're looking for and things you got to watch for when servicing the vehicle to do this yourself are very similar. Alright, as you can see, I have a Sony Explode installed. The door is stripped apart. There's a reason I did that. Let's take a look first at the fine quality American parts of our American car that was originally a different kind of car and a different kind of company. There we go. We have an official Saturn part number, and oh, look at that. Made in China, high quality, 10 ohms. Now, in my rear speaker video, you may have heard me mention that a factory deck will power the aftermarket speakers just fine with no modifications. The reason for this? The ohms. Alright, while I don't know what the RMS and peak power of a factory deck is, I do know that when you go from a 10 ohm resistance speaker to a 4 ohm resistance speaker, you multiply the watts by the division of the ohms. So 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. So if you had 20 watts power RMS at 10 ohms resistance, you would now have 50 watts. 20 times 2.5. Like I said, I don't know what the RMS rating is on the factory decks. I do know that it works. In the distance, you'll see a 91 Grand Am. That's my daily driver, my beater car. It has a factory deck and aftermarket Sony Explodes. Okay, so getting into it. Now, in the rear speaker video, you've seen I use these clips. Now, to use these clips on the front doors, you will have to remove the mounting bracket. All right, the speaker will still mount, as you can see, all right, with the bolts. All right, I turn the speaker this way for the wiring routing because behind it you have the window tracks. This is something to watch for when routing your wiring with the Metro aftermarket harness, because it's going to give you an extra 6 inches of wire. We no longer need this mounting bracket, so we're going to set that off to the side. Now, when removing on a car with manual windows, you have to remove the window handle first. Okay, there's a little tiny clip that you cannot see. I picked my tool up at Pep Boys. You can get these at AutoZone, Snap-on, pretty much any parts store. They are designed to fit into where the clip goes, like so. Notice there's not enough clearance to pop the clip, so you'll have to wiggle the handle with the piece in to get it off in a fashion like this. All right, let me just punch this on here. All right, but when the window handle is on, it's not going to move. So when you put the piece in and it's lined up, you have to wiggle it while pulling out, and it will slowly come off. Okay, there are 2 screws in your door handle. They're Phillips. They come right out. Pretty easy. Use a PH2 bit. This is probably one of the more important aspects, your door handle. Okay, behind the door handle you will notice there are 2 rods. These are for your door locks and your door handle. Now, this is a commonly broken item on these cars under everyday wear and tear, as most people grab on them too hard and snap the handles. So it's very important that you don't damage this piece, because the clips that hold the rods in place are on the door handle assembly. You will not find many of these in junkyards. Most of them have already been picked over pretty well. All right, another important area to watch. There is 1 screw under the cover for your mirror bolts. All right, now my particular door handle, when I got the car, it was broken, so I'm just using a clip to hold it in place. As far as the door trim panel assembly, on the back, other than the 2 bolts that are in the door handle, you will notice there are no bolts. There are a lot of plastic push pins They are grooved with teeth, okay? Let's see if I can get in here. They're grooved with teeth, all right? They are going to slightly damage when you remove the trim panel, but the trim panel has to be very gently pried back. And when you go to put it back in, it is also important to line those holes up because those tabs can and often do break. I've already tested the sound quality of 2 rear speakers only. I do not have the passenger side door done, but maybe once everything's complete, I'll see if I can crank the radio up with all 4 of them going, just to see if I can get maybe a 1-minute video of some type of hit song on the radio, just to see what the sound quality is with all 4. But I thank you for checking out my videos. I hope this helps anybody who wants to necessarily install the aftermarket system, but they don't necessarily want to pay a pretty penny to have it done, because even a novice mechanic can do this. And if you do need to surface some used parts or a used radio for your Saturn, you can go to www.carpart.com. Carpart has a hyphen in the middle. I'll post a link to it in the comments of this video. Thank you and have a great day.